What does it take to stand out and move up? How can customers tell the difference between you and the competition? How can you differentiate your products and services and dominate your market? It's time now for Project Distinct, the podcast on creating distinction with Scott McKain.
Hey, it's Scott McKain. Welcome to the next edition here of Project Distinct. Really glad you're with us today. Regardless of the size of your business, do you need a chief customer officer? That's what we're going to be talking about today on Project Distinct. It's interesting because many bigger businesses are adopting that new person in the C-suite. But how about smaller businesses? Could it work for you as well? Hey, today's Project Distinct is brought to you by Zipcar, where you can earn $25 of free driving credit at joinzipcar.com/distinct. More on Zipcar in just a moment. You know, I'm a big fan of Jeanne Bliss. If you don't follow her, I'd really suggest that she is one of the best when it comes to talking about the importance of the customer experience. It's Jeanne, Jeanne, Bliss, Bliss. And what she talks about in a blog recently is, do you need a chief customer officer? And I want to focus on that for just a little bit today and get you thinking about the chief customer officer. Regardless of the size of your business, we have begun to understand the importance of retention, not only to keep the customers we currently have, but if we create an ultimate customer experience, it also aids in acquisition, getting new customers. So the customer experience drives not only retention, but also acquisition. How do we make that happen? Retention and acquisition? Well, we create experiences that develop relationships. And so what we have to do is to focus on how that happens. In bigger organizations, many CEOs are now recognizing that there needs to be someone at the C-suite level that focuses on what it takes to develop better customer relationships, to be more customer-centric in the organization, to work with a leadership team to make certain that that's always on the front burner, that's always on front of mind. Creating that chief customer officer, or CCO, helps an organization understand culturally the importance of the ultimate customer experience. So in a recent blog post about that, Bliss asks these questions. Can you answer yes to these statements? Now, don't answer them too quickly, she says. Stew over them, debate them with top leadership, maybe even your board of directors. Here are some of the questions that she asks. Is there someone in our company who clarifies what we are to accomplish with customers? Is there a clear process to drive alignment for what will be accomplished? Yes or no, we have a roadmap for the customer work and know where progress will be measured. Number 4, clear metrics exist for measuring progress, which everyone agrees to use. Here are a few others. People really participate and care about the customer work. There is an understandable process for people to work together. A process exists for marketing achievements to customers and internally. And recognition and reward are wired to motivate customer work. Just a few of the questions that she asks about are customer-focused actions embedded in your organization. Now, I got to admit that in most organizations, the answer to those questions are not yes or no. For many organizations I know, the answer is maybe, or it might be part of the time. It kind of depends on who's doing it. In other words, there's great variance in our delivery of the experience to the customer. So what happens if you're in a small organization? What happens if you're a solo entrepreneur? What happens if you're in network marketing or you're just running your own business out of the house? We'll talk about that in the Chief Customer Officer in just a moment. For you, the listeners of Project Distinct, Zipcar is offering $25 of free driving credit at joinzipcar.com/distinct. Founded back in 2000, Zipcar operates the world's leading car sharing network. Zipcar provides the freedom of wheels when you want them to its members, who are known as Zipsters, giving them a convenient, cost-effective, and enjoyable alternative to car ownership. The company operates a fleet of vehicles on over 500 cities and towns, more than 500 college campuses, and more than 50 airports throughout Austria, Canada, France, Spain, Turkey, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Zipcar's all-inclusive rates, that's fuel, insurance, everything, start as low as $7.50 an hour, $69 a day, with gas, parking, insurance, maintenance, and up to 180 miles of driving during the day. It's all included. How do you find out more and get $25 free driving credit? You go to joinzipcar.com/distinct to get your free driving credit. One of the things we realize in small business is that we've got to wear a lot of hats. For many of us, we're the chief executive officer, chief operating officer, chief financial officer. And yeah, I'm going to add one more to the hats that you need to wear, chief customer officer as well. You know, even if you're a salesperson for a large organization, but you're out in a territory, you need to think of yourself that way as well. How can you be the chief customer officer to your customers and prospects? In other words, it means putting on the hat and asking this fundamental question. If everything went exactly the way the customer would want it to go, what would that be like? How much would we be in contact? What are the kind of conversations that we would have? How do we create a better experience for you? When you do those things and take the personal responsibility to become the chief customer officer for your own customers, you're helping move yourself and your organization towards distinction. Thanks to Jeanne Bliss for the blog post about what does it take to become a chief customer officer and the idea behind this podcast. Thanks for tuning in this week. I'll look forward to talking to you again next week on the next edition of Project Distinct. This is Scott McKain. I'll talk to you then.
You've been listening to the podcast to help you stand out and move up. Project Distinct with Scott McKain. For more insights from Scott, visit his blog at createdistinction.com. To have Scott bring his award-winning platform presentation to your next meeting, go to scottmckain.com. Scott McKain can become your virtual coach, educating and helping you create distinction in the most comprehensive way possible. Visit our website, distinctioninstitute.com, for all the details. Be distinct.